I was in the Pittsburgh neighborhood at Iconium Church in a place that was just filled as this one. And we were talking about public safety issues and crime. The night, or 2 or 3 days after that, we were at Turner Field, talking about the future of Turner Field, public safety and crime. The reason I just wanted to talk about this is we can't turn on each other. So when I show up at a community meeting or a meeting like we show up tonight, we've got to be real careful to stop saying, well, you're here, but you're not there. There's a meeting going on in Buckhead right now. My COO is at that meeting. So it's really important that as we go through what is admittedly a very tough time, that we lean towards each other as opposed to saying this is going on there. There was also I got a bit of criticism for making a decision to provide a $25,000 reward. Some folks commented that that was disproportionate. I also want to point out, I've done that in other instances. So if you check my record, there have been cases where I personally picked up the phone and raised the reward amount. So I don't want us to get into this divisive conversation about because the victim was white or the victim was black. There are moments when you need to use your personal authority and your judgment and step up. And that was a moment that I made that call. I do just want to make the record clear that I was in Pittsburgh for 2 hours. I was in Turner Field 2 hours. And something terrible happened, and I felt that I needed to be there. So we are too good a city to try to play this blame game. What we have done is to build the biggest police force that we have ever had, and it was really to avoid that old blame game. You know, back in the day, just 6 years ago, when we only had 1,450 officers or 1,500 officers, there was a constant conversation about when something happened in your neighborhood, was officers being pulled from some other community. So as we stand here tonight, we've got about 1,931 officers. Our authorized force is 2,034. So we've got 131 recruits that are right here in training. So when the recruits come on board, in addition to the 1,803 officers that we have, we'll be at a force of about 1,931 and always trying to get bigger. I also want to make a comment about Zone 5 and 6 where we are tonight. The average length of service for officers in Zone 5 and Zone 6 is between 6 and 8 years. So anyone who's saying that you're being policed by amateurs and rookies, although I believe people that choose policing are very noble, simply aren't being factual. I also want to point out that in Zone 5, where we are tonight, since 2009, we're down 37%, and in Zone 6, while we're up 1% for the year, we're down 22% compared to 2009. But none of that matters when we experience what we've been experiencing lately. So I want to be very clear on what the Deputy Chief pointed out. What are you going to do differently than you were doing a day or a week or 10 days ago? So we're going to pull people out of administrative positions. If you're a sworn officer and you're at a desk, you're going to be in the community. Not just in Midtown, but throughout the city of Atlanta. We're going to have no roll call so that the roll call that occurs in stations is going to be more visible. We're going to have our vehicles drive and patrol the neighborhoods more to give you a greater sense of physical visibility. We will use more overtime in order to achieve that objective. We typically don't start with our holiday schedule where we have a much bigger force until after Thanksgiving. That's going to start on November 1. And we're also getting ready to reinvigorate our monthly crime sweeps. But one thing that Councilwoman Norwood commented on, where we're having a real breakthrough, is around repeat offenders. I don't know whether any of you saw the article, but it was actually pretty shocking, and it pointed out an important fact. There are 461 people who committed 14,400 crimes. And when the police caught them and arrested them, out of 461 individuals, less than 16 of them served 1 day in jail. So, this is a fact. So that means that if somebody broke in your house tonight, stole your television in front of you, right, and left with your television, and went home with your television, and we arrested them with your television, their chance of going to jail, if they don't do harm to you, is less than 86%. It's less than 16%. So we're going to change that. So as opposed to just complaining, we started a Repeat Offenders Commission. And the results have been improving, but they're not happening fast enough. If you look at the people that we catch, we've caught them before. They were simply released. And so you're sitting in your chair wondering, well, what are you going to do about that? Because I believe, as the district attorney also believes, that that is the key to really moving the needle on this surge of violence that we're dealing with. Because the people that we catch again and again, we've caught them before. And so I called the chief judge of the Superior Court. We had a very good conversation today, and I have asked her to authorize the city of Atlanta to allow our judges to prosecute these individuals and to use the jail space that we have so that these people don't stop. And so Judge Tucson, to her credit, partnered with us. I want to be very clear to the people present. I am not bashing Gail Tucson. We made progress. So as of this year, 33 people got jail time who were on the repeat offender list. So double the number who got arrested last year, still not enough. If you have been arrested and convicted 10 and 20 and 30 times in Atlanta, from now on, you're going to go to jail. I might only have the ability to put you in jail for 11 months, but that's 11 months got a family and being victimized by you. So let me be very clear. You all wanted to know, what are we going to do differently? I laid out what we're going to do on the policing side differently. But what I hope, and I'm confident that by the end of the week we will come to an agreement, that the Atlanta Municipal Court will be able to hear cases of these individuals, and when you have these repeat offenders, they will be able to go to the Atlanta jail, and we will be able to jail them for as long as we can. I think when we do this, you'll see the biggest movement that we have in terms of stemming this tide of violence, no matter who the individual is, because it's unacceptable for 16 people out of 461 to go to jail, and that's the problem. Yep. You know, we went through a period where we had mobile phones, iPhones were being snatched, right? People were walking up and iPhones were being snatched. And my command staff remembers that I said I want to put a $1,000 reward on every iPhone. You know what I was told by my own team? They said, Mayor, if you're going to do a $1,000 reward, you'll have people having schemes to get the $1,000 because they know that they're going to get out. So they'll just get out and collect the $1,000. Needless to say, I didn't go forward with the $1,000. The point is, you all want action. And we're here right now in the heart of Midtown. I want to make it very clear, this is about all of us. It's about all of Atlanta. And everything we're doing, we're going to do all over Atlanta. One of the things that the chief didn't reference is we're going to reach out to you all in a dynamic way to make sure that every camera in this neighborhood is synced into the video integration unit so that we can have actual eyes and have a situational visibility into what's going on in Midtown. We built the Video Integration Center into one of the state-of-the-art video integration center units, and that allows us to see what is going on because we do have a finite capacity to hire police. So I literally just got off the phone with the Chief Judge. We will be meeting again this week. But if you all were to ask me what's the most powerful thing that we could do, it would be to make sure that when our women and men in blue arrested somebody and they were convicted, just like they do everywhere else in the metro area but Atlanta, people would actually serve time for their misdeeds. And right now, if somebody doesn't kill you, it is highly unlikely that they will see one day in jail. And so I've complained about it for 2 years. Fortunately, my law department, after we pushed and pushed and pushed, and candidly felt some heat from you, to come up with a different solution. And so this will require some cooperation from our partners on the court, but I'm confident after meetings like this tonight, that they will come in unless they want to come and face all of you. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to do short order. And I'm confident that it's going to lead to even greater crime reduction. And I'm also confident that it's going to send a clear message to these young folks, many of whom that are behaving outrageously, that we're not going to tolerate this foolishness. We're not going to tolerate this foolishness. Many of the high-profile crimes that we've had a conversation about have been done by teens. What that means is when you